After watching the film against SMU, we knew there were a lot of mistakes that we definitely need to get cleaned up. There were definitely some positives that we got to continue to build on, whether it's individually, different phases. But there was also some negatives that, we got to get in the film room, we had to get corrected and make sure that, we're not coming back again next week, talking about the same things. And so, no matter how, I tell our guys all week, no matter how great a win is or exciting, no matter how bad a loss hurts, as I've said from day one, you got to put that win or loss behind you. After Sunday, we got to get back out on the practice field on Tuesday and get ready to roll, and reset and make sure we get prepared and show our next opponent the respect they deserve throughout that next week. We were excited to get back on the field today. I thought there was a lot of energy. Off the disappointment, you got to come back out and ready to go. No matter again how bad it hurts, you make sure you got to reset and have a great day of preparation. Cal's coming off; they're shoot 2-0. They're coming off a great win versus a top 15 opponent on the road in their house, which place I've played. It's not an easy place to win at. So Cal's a very good team, and we need to make sure we have great preparation this week. Look, all our goals are still in front of us as a team. We got to make sure we refocus and making sure that we win every single day, every single rep, every single practice. Make sure we're focused in on going 1-0 every week. So that's been the message to the team. We had a good start today, but we got to finish. We got to finish out the week the right way in order to have success. But that'll open it up.
Now that you were able to watch the SMU game, what did you see offensively from y'all that y'all struggled with, especially early on?
We struggled in a lot of different things early on. We didn't get in the rhythm. Our first and second down production weren't good enough, especially early on. We got in way too many long yardage situations. We failed there on a fourth down attempt that felt really good about, but didn't execute there. And when you get caught behind, you go offensively. You go 3 punts and an interception. Actually, not 3 punts. I think we won a punt, 4 and out, a punt, and an interception, and then defensively you get up 21 straight points. That's digging yourself in a hole, and you're not going to on the road and playing an opponent like SMU. You have to give them all their credit. They're a very good football team. It's hard to overcome that bounce back. The positive was I thought we fought hard to get back in the game and give ourselves an opportunity, but just couldn't ever get it all the way back, on all 3 phases together. You're going to have to play better as a team than we did to have success against them.
How have your players reacted since then? Have they come back?
Again, if you like losing, you don't need to be here. Everybody's disappointed with the loss, especially you put in a lot of hard work. You feel confident that within our team, knowing that what we can do. And, it's one thing when you go out there and play really good football and you're playing against a great opponent and you feel like you left everything out there. Sometimes the results don't always go your way, but when you feel like you didn't play the way you needed to play, there's some heartburn in that. So again, you got to reset, come back off of it, and that's no disrespect to SMU. Sonny's done a great job there. They got great players, and they played extremely well, and they deserve to win that game. Period.
Did they kind of dare y'all to run with their alignment on defense? At
times, it's really nothing we hadn't seen. They played some coverages. They mixed it up well is what they did versus 3-man, 4-man fronts. They mixed their coverages up well, and gave us some opportunities in the run game, which was one of the positives. I thought Trey Siggers ran extremely hard. He broke a lot of tackles, had a lot of yards after contact. I thought our O-line was much better this week up front, being more physical in the run game, which is much needed. And so, I've said it. You got to take what the defense gives you, and we got to understand that a little bit earlier and get in a better rhythm earlier. But that was some of the positives I talked about. I thought our run game was good for the most part.
How are they able to take away Rico?
Look, people are going to do different things with Rico, whether it's brackets, whether it's playing guys one underneath and one over the top, and that's where other guys have to step up. And we have playmakers that can step up and make plays for us. It's not a one-man show. But for the most part, it's not like they were doing anything special in the sense of, after watching tape, doubling or bracketing or doing, they just mixed up their coverage as well. And again, we didn't adjust well.
You had some success with the tight end in the first game of the year, and that was kind of an emphasis coming into the year. Was there a way SMU was able to take the tight end game and the passing game away from you?
No. Again, they just mixed up their coverages in fronts well. They had some good zone pressures, field pressures. It's nothing we hadn't seen. I mean, it wasn't anything out of the ordinary that they jumped into different defenses or different coverages. They just mixed it up well, and we just didn't handle the game well. We didn't execute well, and again, you have to give them credit for that. Thought they played physical, they tackled well, and we just didn't get the job done. Period.
When you look at Cal's defense ahead,
Yeah.
what do you see from them and their
stout?
talent?
Probably one of the best secondaries in the country. Multiple all-conference players, probably big up front. Very similar to a lot of things our defense does. They're very multiple in their 3-man and 4-man fronts. They're good with their pressures. They mix their coverages well. But they're very good. They're a very mature veteran group. They play together. They play a lot of ball together, and they do a phenomenal job defensively.
Heading to Cal, it's your second consecutive road game. Is there anything different in how you prepare for this?
Yeah, we got to correct our mistakes. Again, the biggest thing, whether it's coaches and players alike, we have to make sure that we don't come back in here next Sunday and we're having to try to continue to correct the same things. We got to be able to carry it over from the meeting rooms to the practice field, and then throughout the weeks, as you're working on those things, make sure you carry that over into the game. It's one thing, getting out on the practice field and getting good looks and doing it over and over, and then, when the lights pop on and bullets are flying, you got to be able to do the same thing. And some of that's just going out, relaxing, playing, just doing the things that you do every single day.
You anticipate Alex being ready to go this week?
Yeah, I think so.
What do you guys need to do defensively, you think, to improve after SMU? Are there things you saw in that game?
Yeah, one, there's a couple things. One, we got to make sure we fit our gaps in the run game. I thought our front played pretty good. I thought they were much improved over the first week. Now you're having to correct, another side of it. We got to fit our gaps better. I thought at times we were pretty productive in stopping their run. We just had some 4 or 5 runs that were explosive, and it's a guy missing a gap, making sure we're not missing tackles at the point of attack. I don't think we tackled great. And obviously, we got to get off the field on third down. That's something I've continued to talk about. And, you have a 3rd and 20. We have a busted coverage and screen hits. We have 3 PIs. So it's a challenge. When you can't move the chains and when you can't get off the field on third down, you're probably not going to have much success, and that's about how it went.
You've given up some long plays in the passing game.
Yeah.
Do you look at maybe, since you have 2 new corners, you got a lot of new guys in the back, do you look at maybe some lineup changes back there, or using some
We'll see.
guys?
Again, it's, we got to continue to do a good job as coaches, making sure we got to put them in situations to be successful. We know who our team is, and you're going to have to adjust as you go throughout the season on maybe some of your personnel. Maybe some of it changes. Sometimes just seeing what you got the first few games with some new faces, and so when it comes down to it, I'm the one who has got to be held accountable to making sure they're in the right positions, and then it goes to our coordinators, and so. We got to make sure we do the right things, and then when we do put them in situations, like I told our team, as they know, I'm gonna hold myself accountable. But you got to look in the mirror and hold yourself accountable too. And it's one thing of making or competitive plays. They're going to make some too. But when you're not using the right technique, when you're not hitting the right gaps, it's going to be challenging. Doesn't matter what you call.
The road seems like it gets tough here. You got to go to Cal, which is coming off a win over a top 25 team. You got Houston coming up. You got a rivalry game against UTSA. How do you approach
1-0 today. That's
Just
it.
that's it?
That's it. I mean, what else can we think about right now? We got to correct, the things that we need to correct, and we got to get better today. If we just continue to, have great practice habits, continue to just get a day better. I mean, that's all we can do. And again, if you look at the schedule or down the road or it gets overwhelming. So I think to simplify it, go 1-0 today, line up this weekend, make sure we prepare the best way we can this week, and go give it everything you have. Play at your full potential. And again, if you give it everything you have and you feel like you played at your full potential, let's see where the chips lie. That's all you can think about.
You mentioned Trey Siggers obviously having a good game. You have Lauren and DeAndre and Nick as well. Just how valuable is it to have guys that fit different schemes for your offense and are versatile like that?
Yeah, I think that group's been solid. Something that I've talked a lot about. And Trey, some of the things I saw in fall camp and really in spring ball, he's been playing at a high level, and we're really excited to get him back in here. DeAndre was, been a little bit banged up through camp, and so easily getting back, off his surgery has really helped. He's another guy that, felt really good about this past year. He was really starting to come along before he had his injury and was playing at a high level. Nick's done some great things, and so I feel like we have a group that, we can take care of those guys. We can make sure that we do everything we can to try to keep them fresh and healthy. But we're going to need production out of that group. There's no doubt, and I think this past week, I thought Trey did a phenomenal job, and I thought Easley was really solid. So we got to continue to make plays out of that group and figure out different ways to get those guys the ball.
Is the plan to kind of continue with a committee in the backfield for running those?
Again, it's like the other night, trying to get a guy in rhythm. Once you do, you kind of lean a little bit more on him as the game goes on. Again, some of it's situational, but I do believe in trying to keep those guys as fresh as possible. It's a long season. We're going to need all those guys to make plays. We got to continue to get them in the flow as well, and so we want to be multiple. But there's no doubt when a guy gets in rhythm in a game and was running the way Trey and some of the way Easley was running, you're trying to get him the ball. There's no doubt.
You talked a little bit about Cal. What makes their defense so great? They've been terrific.
Well, they're really strong up front. They get up front. They do multiple fronts on those guys. Do a great job of two-gapping guys and moving, stunting. It's hard to get up on their linebackers. They got two very active linebackers there in the middle. They're both phenomenal players. They run. They get to the ball. One of the most impressive thing about their entire defense, I believe, is obviously they're really good in the secondary, but they make tackles. At the point of attack, they get the ball carrier down. You may catch them here or there on some different, some different gains, but it's not like you're not getting explosives much. You don't see a ton of explosives on film. I think, the gains we broke down, I think there were 5 run explosives and maybe 10 or 11 pass explosives over a 5 or 6 game breakdown. And so they're just very sound in what they do. Their fundamentals are great. They're an experienced group. They know what they're doing. They do a great job coaching. So it'll be a great challenge.
What are you seeing from the Cal offense?
Yeah, I think one of the things is that, their running back's a big dude. It's hard to get down. It runs very physical up front. They do a great job coming off on the ball, protecting the quarterback. Quarterback, again, they're going to play action. Try to make sure that they're going to max it up and try to take shots. The quarterback does a great job getting them out of things. Using his legs at times, and I think they're continuing to grow. Offensively, they can be explosive. You see on tape, you can see the potential they have, and they're. I think the biggest thing with Cal, they're well coached. They play well together on all 3 phases. They're solid, and they don't beat themselves. And so, You know, they make it very challenging for you to just keep grinding throughout a game, and they're gonna find a way to win.
Siggers had a great game, and you mentioned earlier in the fall that maybe you look back on that decision to move into the defensive side of the ball as something you kind of regretted there a little bit. What has helped him to kind of persevere through all the position changes and things to get to the point where he's really?
Well, he hadn't had a lot of position changes. He had one. You know, we moved him in at running back. We were pretty deep at the position. We weren't deep on defensively. I felt like he was the guy, one of the guys that was physical enough, as you've seen, to be able to go over on the defensive side of the ball, and because of where we're at with our running backs early on, could help us. You know, our job is to make sure that you know, we try to find the best players to put on the field, whether it doesn't matter offense, defense, special teams, and felt like he was one of the guys we could, you know, maybe get to do that. And you know, I think he's, after kind of going through a year, you know, sitting down, talking with him, you know, I think he was very passionate about getting back to that position, and sometimes that clicks. I think early on, you know, I wouldn't say he wasn't ready, but you know, I definitely don't feel like he was playing at the level he has been since he got back over on that side of the ball. So, you know, I think he has that chip on his shoulder. He wants to prove to everybody that he's a great running back. And, hey, sometimes, you know, it's not that I regret the decision, but I will tell you this. Once you see him run like he did the other night, once you've seen him run like he did in fall camp, yep, I question myself at times. But at the end of the day, you got to move forward and be glad he's progressing the way he is, because he's doing some good things. He still has to work on some of the different ins and outs of the system, that you know, making sure that he's not having any mental errors when he's not getting the ball. But overall, I think he's doing a good job.
Does that just speak to his level of talent, that he was able to, you know, to go to defense, help you there, come back, and in you know, in a pretty short span of time?
Well, when you look in high school, you know, when we recruited him, we knew he was a very multiple. You know, he's a great athlete. He played on the offense side of the ball. You know, he played defense. He made a lot of plays. He was very physical over there, making tackles. You know, and so recruiting him, we really didn't have a spot for a running back at that time. But I thought he was a great athlete who had, you know, been on a really good football team that loved ball, and I wanted to, you know, get the opportunity to coach him, to be honest with you, because we didn't have the spot at the time. We got him extremely late, and those are one of those guys that I talk about, you know, in recruiting, that you look up, they don't maybe have the offers they want, maybe they deserve, and guys that you feel like can really help your football team, and that's why we took them. And so we didn't, when we recruited Trey, it wasn't like we were going to put him, we didn't know exactly where he was going to play in the beginning, and I think that's maybe why, as it kind of went, I felt like he'd help us on the defensive side of the ball. But hey, look, he's over back on offense. He made some great plays the other night. He's got to continue to develop and grow, and the thing he does a great job of, though, is he plays the game physical. He plays it like it should be played, and so he has to continue to grow on that, and you know, bring other guys along with him.
Is he one of those guys that's kind of willing to do whatever to help you guys be successful?
He's a great teammate. I mean, he really is. He just loves ball, and that's the type of guys you want to coach. Guys that understand how to play the game. They love ball. They're passionate about it. They have fun with it, and to be honest with you, it's. You would think that everybody is passionate and loves it the way that he does, but it's just not reality. You look across the country, it's not reality. And so, again, he's done a great job, and we've got to continue to, you know, develop him and hopefully build his role.
So he came to you and said, I want to move back to the offensive side of the ball?
Mm-hmm. And again, we had a deep position group, and you know, I felt like he was right there in order to help us defensively. But my thing is, if you're that passionate about something, you know, I want guys to be comfortable. I want them to be in position to where, again, they love coming to work every day. They love growing. They love learning. They love competing. And, you know, he he did his part and gave it everything he had for a year, and was just more passionate about coming over to the offensive side of the ball. Which, if that's the case, that's fine. We'll get you there, kind of see kind of where you're at, and we'll take it from there. And he's done a great job.
Thanks.
Appreciate it. Thank you.